Have you ever wondered what it would cost you in regards to a budget to travel around Europe and North Africa for 1 year in a van? Well, we're about to reveal it. Money doesn't grow on the trees, unfortunately. I wish I had a tree each morning I could go out and water, and that the dollar bills would grow on it and you just pick it off to get your daily supplies of whatever you need. It doesn't work that way here in this world, so we've had to save money, and we need to budget the money on a monthly basis so that we can get through 1 year of van life here in Europe and North Africa. And here is the breakdown of what we spend. Momento. Your first fixed monthly cost here is insurance on the van. The van's registered in Norway. Norway is one of the most expensive countries in the world, so it's not cheap. To run a full comprehensive on Sooty is 113 euros a month, and that will cover theft, fire, breakdowns, gearbox, motors, you name it. It's comprehensive. It will cover it. It only covers in Europe, North Africa, null and void, just third party down there. Starlink is a fixed cost that we just started with this month. How much does it cost, Nina?
71 euros a month.
It costs us for the Starlink Mini with Ubergrenzer. What's Ubergrenzer in English? Is 71 euros a month. So that's what it's going to cost you to get your Starlink running in your van. Another fixed cost you might have on full-time van life is the loan on your van. We're pretty lucky. We're in a situation, we own Sooty, we don't own one single Norwegian kroner on Sooty. So that doesn't cost us anything each month because we paid it off already. Before we got Starlink, it cost us a lot more in phone bills. But since we've got it, we've downgraded our plans to just like a minimal. Before I had maximum data and it was costing me almost as much as Starlink. I was getting the worst coverage that you could believe. So chop them down, Starlink, boom, boom, boom. There's your monthly costs on that. I've got a couple of other subscriptions. I use like a Tube Buddy that helps me with my SEO to put my videos out. I've got Spotify and a few other little bits and pieces. I can't remember off the top of my head, but you're probably looking at 30 euros a month for those small subscriptions. Variable monthly costs. It varies. Off the top of my head, not getting too into details, we probably use a tank of diesel a week. Sooty costs about 100 euros to tank. So that's 400 euros. Plus you might have some tolls, parking. If you take a service out over the whole of the year, you can have that, and that's maybe adds up. So I'm saying we're using 500 euros a month on variable costs to run Sooty with diesel, tolls, boats, you name it. It's there, 500. Entertainment and extras is a bit of a luxury thing. Every now and then you might want to do a tourist attraction. Every now and then your sunglasses are so scratched that you need to go out and buy yourself a new pair of Ray-Bans, and that all costs money. When we were in France there, in this little surf town, I bought myself a skateboard. That cost money. Sunglasses cost money. Every now and then you need little essentials for extras and entertainment to make the life quality a little bit better here in the van. So it's different for each person, but on an average cost for us, I would say we're using on average a month €100. Myself and Nina were not really into going into like tourist attractions. We did go to that little castle in the north of France. Link the video here if you want to see that. But I think that was free to go there. So we actually haven't paid to go into anywhere, I believe, Nina, because we're not really interested in looking at old buildings and this and that. We just like sitting in the nature, manifesting here in the nature and getting things done. That is what blows our hair back on this van life tour. Unexpected costs. They vary. We just had a Starlink unexpected cost. When the turbo blew up, we had an unexpected cost. We had to pay taxes on the Starlink. We had to pay shippage on the Starlink. So every now and then you get curved balls coming in from different angles, and you've got to deal with those. So I can't say exactly what your unexpected cost will be, but for us, we've had a few, and every time a curveball comes your way, it seems to cost us. The turbo cost us £1,800. There's one example. The Starlink with the shipping and the tax on it here in Italy, paying double tax in Norway and Italy, that cost us around €300. So you need to have a bit of a buffer in your budget for when the curved ball does come, because Murphy's Law says that it will come. 1800, 300 equals divided by 12. I just asked ChatGPT the £1,800 plus the 300 in tax here. This is just a couple of things we've had with curved balls. Shit. If you break that down into a year on your average, those costs are going to cost you €175 a month just in curved balls. So quite expensive. We mostly eat from the grocery store. We go there once a week. We buy in and we try and do ourselves for a week. With groceries, with eating out, and campground fees, which we go into every now and then. Now we've been in Italy for 6 weeks, and I would say 80% of the time we've been doing free camping. So it reduces your cost. If you're going into a campground every night, you're looking between 15 to €30. So this month, here in Italy, with groceries, campgrounds, and eating out, eating your margaritas, and don't forget your daily aspartame, that costs as well, we're looking at 500 clams of euros. So that's a quick rundown of a monthly budget. Between your fixed monthly costs, your variable monthly costs, your entertainment and extras, your unexpected costs, your living costs, according to ChatGPT here, we're looking at €1,500 a month to keep this show on the road here in Saudi. So I'm not saying that's 100% exact sum of what we spend, but it's in the vicinity, so you can go off that. Sometimes it might be a bit lower, sometimes it might be a bit higher, but on your average, it was just taking into account all of your variables. We're looking at around €1,500 a month, which would probably be around 18,000 Norwegian kroners, because the Norwegian kroner is so weak at the moment that it's costing us more to be here than it actually would be as if we were in Norway. Van life is not as cheap as you think it would. You're trying to live a bit of a a gypsy life, or whatever you want to call it. But if you go and buy a van, if you fit it out, it's going to cost you a bomb. And then you need to get out on the road. You got petrol. The prices of petrol are through the roof. You got your food. You got your other accessories. You've seen it all here on the budget. So it's quite expensive, really. It's not a cheap way of living, I guess. I think our overall budget to go on this trip between myself and Nina, 200,000 Norwegian crowns. Nina had about the same. So we've got a budget of about 400,000 Norwegian crowns. Just a second. How much is that in euros? 400,000 NOK in euro. Momento. It says here, according to ChatGPT, we've got about 34,800 euros to do a year's worth of travelling. I don't think we'll use it all. I think that when we get back to Norway, that I don't think there won't be much left over of the budget, because, as mentioned in the previous conversations here, van life has become real expensive. So you need to weigh up the pros and cons. But if you're going to go full-time van life, it's going to cost. You need to have a budget, you need to have some savings, and you need to put it all together so that you get some sort of formula that allows you to get out and see what you want to see. But at the end of the day, I totally don't regret spending the money we're doing, because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. When else am I going to get the time to take a year off, not work, go around, do what I want to do? I've got the money in the bank to live life. So that's the question you folks have got to ask yourself at home. But for us, totally worth it. If you folks at home haven't given us a subscribe, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. So when you've done with this video, just go in, give us a click, and it'll help the channel out immensely, and we really appreciate that. If you want to buy us a coffee, the link is in the description below, and feel free. We love when you peeps at home buy us coffees. Tomorrow we're going to drive down to Genoa, which is about an hour's trip from here, and then on Saturday morning we're going to get the boat down to Morocco, and then we're going to be offline for 3 days, because it's a 3-day voyage to get from Genova in the north of Italy down to the north of Morocco. So we'll touch base when we get down there, and I'll let you know how the trip went on the boat. I might make some footage so you guys can see what the boat's like, and we'll update you in Morocco. But until then, the vlog's done. Catch you later.